continuing in our study of Koine Greek. The New Testament was originally written in Koine Greek. That is the language of the New Testament. And it's provably so. We mentioned last week, and I don't want to belabor this point, but there are those that would say that Aramaic was the language of the New Testament. The original language of the New Testament, it is not. It was originally written in Greek. And there are those who have said that if you want to know what Jesus really said, you have to go look at Aramaic words to find out what he really said. Well, we are given the inspired words in Greek, which is precisely what the Holy Spirit wanted us to have, which is precisely what Christ wanted us to have. That's what we have. All right, now, before we get in any further, I just want to show you Revelation 9:11. And they had as their king over them the angel of the bottomless pit, whose name in Hebrew is Abaddon, but in Greek has the name Apollyon. All right, now that to me is telling me that why, if it originally was in Aramaic or some other language, why would it bring up the Greek? Now the Hebrew, I understand that because the Hebrew is the Old Testament. That this destroyer is the name, is what these mean. Abaddon and Apollyon both mean destroyer. That was there a destroyer in the Old Testament? Yeah, there was. Okay, I can show you where with David numbering the people, which was a huge mistake on his part, that there was a destroyer. That was he is taking the vengeance from God. God has sent him to do this. Revelation 9:11, same verse. Now this, I should have labeled it. This is Latin, the Latin Vulgate, okay, which is a translation. The original New Testament is not in Latin, but the Latin Vulgate, which is kind of funny because the very ones that say that the original New Testament was in Aramaic also gravitate to the Vulgate, and this has Hebrew. That's the word for Hebrew, Abaddon. Greece, Apollyon. Okay, now it does add in Latin exterminans. All right, and which is not in the verse. That's not in the verse. They just added to it. Revelation 1 and verse 8. I am the Alpha and the Omega, the beginning and the end, says the Lord, who is and who was and who is to come, the Almighty. All right, so this is Alpha, Omega. Now that's not Aleph or Taw, which is Aramaic. It's not A and Z, which is English. It's Alpha and Omega, which happens to be the Greek. We go to the Latin Vulgate. Same one, Revelation 1:8. And ergo sum alpha et omega. And this is saying principium et finis, which is beginning and end. All right? And so now the Latin does not have alpha or omega. They do have the letter A and the letter Z, like we do. That's it, basically what they would say. Now, we're come back to this. I am the Alpha and the Omega, the beginning and the end. This is Revelation 22:13, the first and the last. And once again, the Latin brings in Alpha and Omega. It's translating this. Now, just for the sake of understanding that Alpha is the first in the alphabet, Omega is the last in the alphabet. In the Greek alphabet, and here it is. So let's talk about the Greek alphabet, and we'll go through it bit by bit. All right, our English alphabet is based off of the Greek, but it got filtered through the Romans and then came toward English. English adopted it. And there are differences that are going to be there. And also, if you were in a Greek fraternity or sorority, that they typically mispronounce the letters. Not a stickler on that. I mean, it's okay as long as we know what we're talking about. But the letters are quite often mispronounced. And because they're not taking Greek. Who takes Greek in college? Very, very few people. I don't think it was even available where I was going. But yeah, so it's quite often mispronounced. And so here is just the lowercase letters. And you'll notice these two, this is actually sigma. We'll get to this in a minute. Why there are two lowercase sigmas. We'll get to that. There are. It depends on where they are in the word. All right? And so this is going from our alpha to omega in all of this. This is the capital letters, and this can make some things confusing simply because one, you do have letters that look like ours and they behave the same way. They do behave the same way. But you also have other letters that look like our letters and it does not behave the same way. That's a different sound altogether. And of course, there are things such as here, here, and here that I don't even know what those are. All right, and so, but we're gonna go through with them. Okay, alpha. Alpha is the letter A. This is I have uppercase and lowercase. A as in father, it is long or it can be short as in bat. Like with us, it can be either one. And I have put a word up here, and the word is angelos. It begins with alpha, and it is angel. That's what the word is. That's how we translated it into English. And these words I have, for the most part, will be lowercase. What I'm using it for the most part will be lowercase. Okay, so this is the alpha, and it basically looks like and behaves like our letter A. Next one is beta. It looks like our B, and the uppercase and lowercase. Of course, the lowercase to us looks like an uppercase, but this is uppercase and lowercase, and it's B as in ball. And here we have the word basileia, which is kingdom. That's the word for kingdom. This is gamma. All right, this is where we kind of move away from the familiar. Gamma is G as in gift. This is uppercase. We have nothing that looks like that. It looks like somebody messed up on a capital T, but no, that's a gamma. This looks like the letter Y, but that's the lowercase gamma. And graphe, which is the word for writing. And so I have, and in your handouts, you can see all of these, how they are pronounced, and a word, a biblical word, obviously. We're using all biblical words, not just random Greek words. This is a delta, and it behaves like a D. And of course, this is a triangle, and one could see a D in it. This is the lowercase delta. And of course, we have the word delta, which would mean a triangle. But this is D as in dog, didasko, and that means teaching. Literally, a didasko would mean, is a verb, I am teaching. It's first person present. I am teaching. And now, we go to epsilon. Epsilon is like an E, and you'll notice that the lowercase e doesn't look like our lowercase e at all. They don't create their e's like we do. This is an epsilon. And so ecclesia is church. It starts with an epsilon. And this is E as in met. It's easy. This is zeta. And it behaves like our Z, but it is a DZ sound, as in ads. And a common word is Zoe. Zoe means life. In the Septuagint, Genesis chapter 2. No, Genesis chapter 3. Genesis chapter 3. Someone is named Zoe because she is the mother of all the living. This is what the Greeks translated her name into because that means life. Eve in the Greek is Zoe. That is her name because it means life. Now, this is Ada. And that looks like an H. It does not behave like an H. Ada is like obey. It's E as in obey. And you have the uppercase. Lowercase looks like an N. It's not. That's an Ada. And Amera is, or rather, Hamera is day. And you'll wonder why I pronounced it Hamera. We'll get to that in a bit. Because there's something there telling me that instead of Amera with the Ada sound, it's Hamera, and there's a breathing mark that happens to be there. And I know you probably can't see it from where you are. This is theta. This is a letter we seriously need because theta is doing the TH job, but in one letter. Instead of using a T and an H, we could have a theta, and it's TH as in theme. And theos is the word for God. And theta is the TH sound. This is iota. Iota is I as in magazine or pit. And it could be either way, depending. And Iesus is the name of Jesus in Greek. It's Iesus. And you might put it all together, Iesus, Iesus. And that is the name of Jesus. We have Kappa. It behaves like a K, looks like a K, behaves like a K. K as in kin. All right, Kurios is Lord. This is lambda or lambda. Lambda is an L, and it looks like an upside down V or an A missing the crossbar, and it looks like this. We don't have anything that looks like that. And we have logos, which means word. In the beginning was the logos. That is the word. And lambda, it's L as in long. Mu is like our M. And this looks like a confused M, like somebody was doing a U and kind of the ink ran or something. This is lowercase, uppercase. And mathetes means disciple. And this is M like we would use it as man. That's precisely the same. All right, nu works like in as in no. And the lowercase, this we got that one, but this looks like a V, but that is new. And so this is news, literally, nudes, and actually it'd be a DZ sound, nudes, and it means night. This is alien. This is your XC, and it's an X sound like relax. This is XC. And xenos, which probably you might recognize something in that. That does mean a stranger. Xenophobe is where we're getting that word from this. Xenophile would be someone who loves strangers. This is xenos is a stranger, and it is the X sound. Omicron is O as in omelet. There are two. Our O can be an ah sound or an O sound. Omicron is only the softer sound, omelet, because the omega takes the harder sound. And oikos means house. Now this is the pi. Everybody recognizes this because of math. This is pi, and this is P. This is the letter P. It behaves like the letter P. P is in pay. And this one is pneuma, meaning spirit, and the P is silent. All right. Rho looks like P, but it is the R sound. R as in ring, and this is Rome, meaning Rome, and of course, the New Testament has the word Rome in it, and you've got the entire book of Romans that happens to be there, and Paul is heading to Rome, and so this is Rho. Now comes sigma. Sigma is a special thing. Here is uppercase, and here are the two lowercase. Okay, and we'll show it in a little bit later, but sigma is S as in sing. Soteria is the word for salvation. This obviously is for if it was Saul of Tarsus. Well, this would begin his name. It'd be capitalized. These lowercase ones, and we're going to get to another slide concerning this, but this particular sigma is either the beginning of the word, which isn't a capitalized sigma, it's not a capitalized word, or it's in the middle of the word only. Now this is only at the very end, the very final letter. That's called final sigma, and I'll show that just a little bit later, and an example of it. All right, so this is tau. Tau behaves like our letter T, T as in tail, and tromos means trembling, and this is, okay, so that's tau. Then we have upsilon. That is not a Y. That is a capital upsilon, which is U for unity, as in unity. It can also, when it becomes a diphthong, which vowels do, when they're connected with another vowel, their sound changes, and this is weos. It starts with an upsilon. Weos is son. Now this is phi. Some might pronounce it phi. That's for, phi, phi, fo, fum. But you have, this is phi, and it's ph as in phonics. This takes the place of all phs plus your f's in English. And phobos is fear. So you have uppercase, lowercase. Those are pretty good, because some of these letters look similar enough from capital to lowercase that it's easy to put them together. Some do not. Now this is key, and it's a ch. It's actually a ch sound, and as in chemical, and that's where we get the word Christos or Christ. Christos is the Greek word for Christ. It starts with a key, and then we come to psi. Some would say psi, but it depends on who you're talking to. But it's the ps sound, as in taps. Okay, so suke or psuke is the word for soul, and uppercase, lowercase looks like just similar enough to where we can get it. These don't look alike. This is our last one. This is omega. O as in tone. This is the the harder O sound, as opposed to on, which is softer. This is tone, and it is the harder O, and ode means song. All right, and so this is just going through the alphabet, and now here are just a thing of Greek replacements: C, W, Q, Y, F. All right, these aren't found, but they do have replacements. C, which our C is overworked, if you ask me, and we really don't need it because we have S and K. They have sigma and kappa, and that takes the place of C. W, well, you have the upsilon and the iota can take care of any of that sort of sound. Q, once again, gets a kappa. Y gets an iota or an eta, and F gets a phi. And so these are not letters you're going to find in Greek, but they do have the sounds. That's the important part I want to make in this, is they do have the sounds, because H, the H sound, H does not have a letter. H has a breathing mark, and it looks like this. Now it's going to be tiny on the page, but it will be, that's called a hard breath mark. And you'll notice that if you think about it, it kind of looks like going in the same direction as the letter C does. But that's a hard breath mark. And of course it looks like an apostrophe. And when it's going in that direction, you have the hard breath, or it sounds like an H. All right? And it's only going to be over or beside vowels and at the beginning of words. There's not going to be an H sound that isn't the first sound of a word. All right? It is not. Or in the middle of a word. It's going to be at the very beginning of a word, when it's there at all. Now here are your breath marks. You have, this is the hard breath mark, that is the soft breath mark. And I've put two examples here. Hagiu, which is holy, and you hear Hagiu with the H, but this is Einer, that means man. And you have the soft breathing, which means you don't have an H sound at all. And it's just showing you how these are to be pronounced. And once again, this isn't a letter. It's I don't know what to call it. It's just a breath mark is what it is. And but you'll never see them over a consonant. They'll never be over a consonant except rho. I'm sorry, rho is always, if a word starts with rho, it will always be an H sound, chro, with it. But hagiu, einer. In Greek, there is no V or equivalent. There is no J or equivalent. Those are missing entirely. And so I've put two things down here, such as that this actually doesn't say David because they don't have a V. This is Dawid. That's the equivalent. That's the best they could do. Now the Hebrew, they do have V's, but the Greeks don't. And so this is, they could either do, in my mind, they could do David, using a beta in there, but with an upsilon, it's Dawid. Now, this is, instead of a J, this is Iesus, this is Jesus' name, and there is no J. It's an iota, that is iota, and an eta that is there. There is the double gamma rule. And I need to, in your next paper I give you, it will have this. So a gamma is the G sound, all right? And so we have graphe, which is writing. But when there is a double gamma, it's now the NG sound. So it's angelos. Does not have a nu in here. It has a double gamma, and so it becomes angelos, which of course means angel, and it's pronounced, I put it here in English, its pronunciation. Now, we get to sigma again. All right, so we have the uppercase sigma, which you do have writings where the words will be all caps. Depends on numerous things, because there are ancient writers that may just write in all caps, and there are certain sections where in the Greek New Testament where it is a word that is in all caps. But here is the lowercase sigma. It's used in the start or middle of the word when the word is not capitalized. Used in the start or the middle of the word. This is final sigma, used if lowercase sigma is the final letter of the word. You see, these are two sigmas. This is in the middle of the word. That's at the end of the word. They're both lowercase sigma. It's one is the final sigma. Let's try this. Can we pronounce this word? Use your guide and see if you can make this one out. Okay, so chi, rho, iota, sigma, tau, omicron, sigma. Okay, so what sound does chi have? It has a K kind of sound. It's a CH. It has a K kind of sound, like chemistry. I know it's CH is chemistry, but it has that K sound. What does rho have? That's R. So we have cr. It's Christos. It does mean Christ. This is Christos. And, yep. Now you'll notice there is an accent there. We're not going to pay attention to those because they're not needed for what we're doing. There's a lot of, now if we were going deep, then we would need to study those, but we're not. There are rules concerning these accent marks, but it doesn't really change the pronunciation of the word. Not for our purposes anyway. Now, let's see if we can make this one out. Maybe it's a slightly harder. So it's upsilon, iota, omicron, sigma. So upsilon has what pronunciation? How do we pronounce that? Okay, it is pronounced, we've already said it actually earlier, it's weos is what it is. Weos, and that means son. Yep, that is son. It's not pronounced that way, but that's what it means. Weos is son. All right, now, this is theta, epsilon, omicron, sigma. Theos. That's exactly right. Theos. Theos is God. All right, so we've got Jesus, Son, and God. These are enormous words that are all part of the vocabulary, the Greek vocabulary. So theos. Now, how about this one? Can we figure this one out? Actually, this almost, I think you could get somebody to read that. Yeah, what is that? Yeah, that's exactly right. That one's easy. That was easy. Biblos, and it does mean Bible. Yeah, and that it does mean book. All right, Biblos does mean book. In this case, it is Bible. All right, we do transliterate this word into Bible. All right, now you should be able to guess this one. Yeah, all right, but it's not pronounced David. We do in English because we do have a V, and the Hebrew has a V, and it is pronounced with a V, but the Greeks couldn't pronounce it with the V, so it's actually Dawid. Dawid, and it's David. Yeah, and it's funny how how a D, we can interpret that as a D. I mean, the delta we can interpret as a D pretty quick when it's put in context to a word. We're going to call it a day for today, and thank everybody for being with us. And hopefully we'll see everybody next week.